Hello there, welcome to another video from Loving Every Stitch by Ruby Baby. I'm Ruby Baby, and in this video we are going to make this short brim, curled brim, flip brim fedora in crochet together. For this hat pattern we are going to need 4-weight yarn, a 6.5 millimeter K-hook, and a pair of scissors. We're also going to need the short brim fedora. I got this one from Hobby Lobby. And then I'm also going to be using a hot glue gun. So you'll need a glue gun and glue sticks. And I didn't show it in this picture, but it's optional to use some fabric tape. And I'll show you what we need that for later on in the video. And for reference, here are the hat dimensions if you're interested in this information, but these are the measurements that we're going to be working on today with the actual crochet pattern that we're going to use. So before we get started, would you mind doing a couple of things for me? Those things. Please and thank you. It will make me so happy. Alright, so to get started, we're going to start with a slip knot, and we are going to chain up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to join to our first chain to form a loop or ring. And then we're going to do 10 double crochets inside this ring. So here's our 10 double crochets. We're going to join to the first double crochet, and then we're going to move on to the next round. Okay, so round 2 is going to be 2 double crochets in each stitch around. That'll give you 20 stitches in the round. So just like that, 2 stitches in each stitch all the way around to the end. And then we'll join to the first stitch to go on to the next round. Okay, so this is what we got so far. And now we're going to move on to round 3. So we're going to do our first double crochet in the same stitch. This is our first double crochet. And then we're going to do 2 double crochets in the next stitch. 1, 2, and just like that. So that's the pattern for this round. 1 in the next stitch, and then 2 in the next stitch, all the way around. And here's our circle after that round. This is what we're looking like. So now we're going to continue by making a double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then 2 double crochets in the next stitch. So here's 1. I'm going to double crochet in the next stitch, 2, and then in the next stitch we're going to do 2 double crochets. 1, 2, just like that. So that's the pattern for this round. 1, 2, and then double in the next stitch all the way around to the end. Here's our circle, and we're going to move on to round 5. So for this round, we're just doing another increase. So we're going to do a double crochet in this first stitch, and then we're going to do a double crochet in the next 2 stitches. 1, 2, and then we're going to do 2 double crochets in the next stitch. 2, just like that. So that's the pattern for this round. 1, 2, 3, and then double in the next, all the way around until the end. So this is our circle up to this point. We don't have to increase any more for this hat. So for rows 6 through 12, we are going to double crochet in each stitch around, join to our first stitch, and we're going to do that over and over until we reach 12 rounds. Okay, so I'm just going to show you real quick how it's fitting. And this is what it looks like. So now we can move on to the brim. Okay, so here's our hat pattern after we've done all the 12 rows. This is what we're looking at. And for this round, we're going to do something a little bit different. This is an increase round because now we're working on the brim. So we're going to work in the front loop only for this round. So we're going to do a double crochet in our first stitch of the front loop. And then we're going to do a double crochet in the next 3 stitches in the front loop. 2, 3. And then we're going to do 2 double crochets in the next stitch in the front loop. So just like that. This is the pattern for this round. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 double crochets in the next stitch all the way around in the front loop. Okay, so here we are, and this is what it looks like with the little lip from working in that front loop. So this begins to flip on the brim. So see that little stitch there, that little line? So now it flips out. So now we're going to continue with our increases for this row, but we don't have to use the loops, the front loop or the back loop. We're using our whole loops, and we're going to do our starter double crochet in our first stitch, just like this. And then we're going to double crochet in the next 4. And then we're going to do 2 double crochets in the next stitch. So that's the pattern for this row. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2 in the next stitch all the way around to the end. So this is what our hat is looking like with our increase after that round. So we're going to continue with another increase round right here. So we're going to do our starter double crochet in our first stitch. So that's 1. And then we're going to double crochet in the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to do an increase in our next stitch. So that's the pattern for this round. 6 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then increase in the next stitch all the way around until you get to the end, and I'll meet you back. So now we're fitting on the hat after that set of increased stitches, and this is how it's fitting. So now we're going to work our stitches to work the other side of the brim. Alright, so let's carry on. So this is the top side of our brim, and now we're going to work the under portion of our brim with these next couple of rounds, okay? So for this round, we're going to work in the back loop just for this round, and we're going to do a decrease in the back loops. So these are the stitches that we'll be working with, and we're going to do our stitches in the back loop. So we're going to do our initial double crochet in the first stitch. That's our first stitch. And then we're going to do another double crochet in the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, all in a back loop. Then we're going to do a decrease in the back loop. So this is our decrease right here, doing double crochet 2 together in that space. So that's the pattern for this round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 regular double crochets, and then a decrease or double crochet 2 together all the way around in the back loop. And I'll meet you back at the end. All right, so this is what we're looking like after that round. And by working in that back loop, that helps our project fold under. Now you see how it looks there, folding under? And that's what we want. So we're going to continue like this for the next couple of rounds. So for this round, I'm going to start with a double crochet in our first stitch. Now if you're wondering why I do my double crochets this way, this is a stacked single crochet, but I like doing that as my first double crochet stitch of a round, but that's all. And then we're going to do 4 more double crochets, so it's 5 double crochets and then a decrease. So this is 4 and 5, and then we're going to do a decrease double crochet or double crochet 2 stitches together, just like that. So that's the pattern for this round. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then your decrease stitches or double crochet 2 stitches together. You're going to follow that pattern in each stitch all the way around, and I'll meet you at the end. All right, so this is what our hat is looking like now with that round of increases. And you can see the fold out, and now you can see it folding back in. So we're going to continue with another round of decreases. And it's exciting, guys, because we're coming close to the end. So let's get going. And we're going to start this round with a double crochet, as we've been doing. Double crochet, and then we're going to double crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to do a decrease in the next 2 stitches or a double crochet 2 stitches together, just like that. So that's our pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, and double crochet 2 together or decrease. You're going to follow that pattern all the way around to the end, and I'll meet you back. All right, so this is what we got so far. This is what it's looking like. So this is how it folds up. It folds out and up. So this is, you know, the mold that we're making. And actually, this is all we need. So for this hat, so we're gonna fasten off. So now we're gonna just fit our hat or our hat mold onto our hat, and I'm just stretching it down and, you know, making sure my center is in the center and pulling it down to where my stitches line up. And now we're gonna just fold over the under portion that we created and just let it hug the brim. Just like this, we're going to let it hug the brim all the way around, and you can bring your stitches down so that it meets and it looks nice and neat. And we're just rolling it out just like that, and then that's how we're fitting, just like that. And you can turn it over and you see how it folds under. We can stretch it a little bit just to make the lines even, and it matches nicely. So when you flip it up, you have a nice flip. So what we're going to do now, we're going to glue the edging all the way around to secure our crochet piece onto the hat. And as we glue, we're just going to tap it down all the way around. And to start, just make sure your tail is in. You can have the tail on the back or on the side. It depends on if your seam is showing. But I'm putting mine in the back, so I just go along the line, tap a little bit of the glue, and then secure the edge into that space right there. And that's what I'm going to do all the way around. I'm just going to do a little tap in an even line all the way around, and we're just going to tap it down to secure it. Alright, so now that we got to the end, we're just gonna let that dry and settle a little bit. It doesn't take that long, but I'm also gonna just make sure that my lining is all matching up. So this is what we look like. Just, just line up your stitches, make sure that that seam is on the tip or edge rather. And yeah, and then once you flip it up, it'll all be secure. And that's how it looks. So for the most part, this is done, but don't go yet because there's something else I want to show you. Okay, so you see this teardrop definition in this hat? I want to show you how we can make our mold more defined. So I'm going to use this fabric fuse tape to help us with that process. So let me just crack this open real quick. And what we're going to do is we're just going to line this little area, this indentation. We're going to line that indentation with some of this fabric tape. This is like some double-sided tape. You can also find this at Hobby Lobby or Walmart or anywhere that does or sells sewing materials and things like that, fabric materials. So I'm just gonna line this little section with a little bit of this double-sided fabric tape, just like that. And we're just gonna really apply that good all the way around this little section. And then we're just going to press it in real good and just make sure it's adhering to this side of it. And once we get that all tacked down, we can release it. We can release the other side. So we'll just take off the top tape, and now that gives the second side more tackiness. So when we apply our crochet piece, it'll adhere to the top of the hat in this mold. Alright, so here's another hat that I made, and I made this hat just to do this demonstration for you guys. So I'm applying it the same way we applied it the first time, just stretching it over and, you know, flipping the flip side onto the brim, lining everything up real good, stretching it out, molding it, and I'm gonna just press down and get the crochet piece to adhere to the top of the hat. So I'm just pressing down on the inside, and then you can press down on the outside as well, and then we're just going to glue around and around like we did the first hat, just like that. Yep, and as you just continue to press it down and stuff like that, you just make sure your stitches are lining up where you want them to line up. Just stretch it down if you have to stretch it down. See, I'm just kind of moving it around, making sure my stitches look symmetric on the hat there. Yeah, and then once you're happy with it, you can glue it down. All right, well, if you made it to the end, I want to take this time to thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. It was my pleasure to be able to share it with you. And also, if you haven't, please do the things if you haven't done the things. Oh, there's one more thing I did want to mention. If you like those earrings, those tassel earrings that are displayed in the end pictures, I do have a video tutorial available for that as well on this channel, so go check it out. Otherwise, I will see you all in the next one. Thanks again.